A little bit of afternoon boxing talks. Got a couple of videos coming up. Thought I'd chop it up about some subjects that I've already more or less done videos on, but there's still news circulating in reference to them. The Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter situation and Keith Thurman's situation, really the welterweight situation, is an ongoing situation. I want to say that a lot of people look at that entire ordeal that's going on over there, right? And they look at it as being more complicated. I was goody as casual cucumber. They look at it as being more complicated than it actually is. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. If Sean don't like the money that Bob is putting up for him, then simply push for the purse bid and have Al Heyman put up the money, because you're worth it, right? You're a star. You deserve much more than what Bob Arum is offering you. Okay, cool. You can get that. All you got to do as a mandatory challenger is simply push for the purse bid and let Al Heyman flip the bill. Now, if Al Heyman don't want to flip the bill, we'll know why. It's not a complex situation. It's not convoluted. It doesn't have to be this big ordeal. If you don't like what Bob is willing to put up for you because Bob doesn't think you're a big draw, Bob doesn't think you're going to make him any money. That's why he doesn't want to stake a lot of money on you. He doesn't want to stake a lot of money on the card. And that's understandable in this environment, in this climate. So if that's how Bob feels, what you can do, because you're in a pole position to challenge as a mandatory challenger, is push for the purse bid. Push for the purse bid. You don't like what Bob's offering? Okay, let Al Heyman put a bid in for the fight. If you're worth it and you're a money maker, he'll put the money up. If he don't put the money up, that tells everybody what they need to know. The question is, why doesn't anybody know? Why doesn't anybody understand that? They're like, yo, dog. The reason a guy like Bob don't want to put up that kind of money for that fight is because he's scared that y'all ain't going to be able to bring it back. That's why he don't want to put it up. That's why he don't want to put it up for Thurman. That's why he don't want to put it up for Sean. Because it's like, yo, y'all want 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever $1 million guaranteed, right? But y'all got to be able to bring that back to me. I ain't paying you just to pay you. I ain't putting up money for the sake of putting up money. You got to be able to bring that back. And in this environment, can you? I was goody, Eparokwa was goody, Ben Joe Casual was goody. Yeah, man. I mean, what I see, if you want my opinion, and this is just my opinion, this is just what I think. I think the reason that we're seeing this push that, oh, Bob got to give us this and Bob got to give us that is because they don't got a lot of fight dates over there at the PBC. How many fights have they announced since the new year started? How many? What's the plan? What are the fights and the fight announcements for the first quarter of 2021? What are they? We see that Matchroom just announced they've added McCaskill versus Breakers 2 to the undercard of Chocolatito versus Estrada. They announced a couple of fights already going into the new year. But what are the announcements for the PBC? Like, what's the plan? What y'all got going on? They haven't so much as announced the Kovnowski versus Hellenius rematch yet. I'm assuming that there's going to be a rematch. I'm assuming, based on the rumors that I've been hearing, that there's going to be a second fight. But as it stands, we haven't heard a schedule yet. And January is already over. January is already over, and we don't know what they got. If you want my guess, I think they don't got a lot of fight dates over there. Perhaps their budget got cut. You know, the Fox budget, the Showtime budget, the boxing budget. Perhaps it got cut. A lot of those guys, they ain't got fight dates. They want these big-ass purses, all this big money. And, yo, the money not there, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but the money not there. Like, what you want? You want $1 million, $2 million to fight in a tune-up fight? I'm sorry, but you ain't got it like that. Breakers versus McCaskill should be a standard. No. Arian, he's doing it the right way because you need to get more eyes on the fight. Like, a lot of people think that you should headline just for the sake of headlining. It's more beneficial to be a part of a big card than to have a standalone card that is smaller. It's more beneficial because you get that many more eyes on the fight, new eyes. you bring that many more fans that perhaps were not familiar with these fighters. This is a common argument that people have when it comes to Katie Taylor and Clarissa Shields. But there's a reason that Katie Taylor is making millions of dollars, and Showtime wanted to give Clarissa a low $150,000. That's the reason. That's the why. It's not about headlining for the sake of headlining. It's not about being on a pay-per-view for the sake of being on a pay-per-view. No, no, no. The idea is to grow the fighter and the fighter's fan base organically until you reach a point where you can start staging standalone events that are financially viable, that are successful, that tickets get sold, that ratings, that bring in good ratings, that fights get watched. You build things organically. You don't say, well, we're going to put this person on a pay-per-view. We're going to put this person as the main event, and that's supposed to make it a success. No, it's not. All right. You still have to appeal to the fans. You still have to sell something. It's not enough for you to say that, oh, yeah, well, we're going to put this person on a main event. Or, well, oh, I've been the main event of my cards. Yeah, and your cards don't get as many eyes on them. So, I mean, really. You could be the main event on those cards, but your cards don't get as many eyes on them as someone else. So, what's goody, Rockstar? What's goody, Emma? Shields needs to get Eddie. I heard some things. I heard some things. I don't know how true they are. So I'll preface everything I say with rumors. But I heard that some bridges were burned. I don't know how true that is, by the way. But I heard that some bridges were burned because she fought on DAZN before. The Hannah Rankin fight was on DAZN. Most people might have forgot that she didn't. Not all her fights was on Showtime. Most of them were on Showtime, but not all of them. She had one fight on HBO and one fight on DAZN. And I heard something happened. Somebody told me something happened and some bridges got burned. That's what I was told. Oh, man, that's a great fight, Leo versus Fulton. That's a great fight. I'm sitting that one out. I am sitting that one out. I don't have a prediction for that. That's just the fight that I'm going to watch. I don't have a prediction for that. It's a great fight. I've been waiting for it since it first got postponed. Cool boy Steph, he has what it takes to win the fight, man. But Leo, he's a champion, and that does something for you. That does something for you that I'm not just a contender in here. I'm a champion. I got a reason to fight for something. I got a reason to try to fight hard to hang on to my status. So it's not a fight where I feel like, oh yeah, you can lean too far to the left or too far to the right. It's a great fight, though. I gotta admit that's a great fight. I was looking forward to that fight. JD was good. May I recommend a PayPal account, Ring IQ? I refuse to give 30% of anything. I want to talk. I have a PayPal account. I do. I don't know. I mean, how would I post that on here? You know, like I don't know. Let me see. Because I do have a PayPal account. I think I do. Do I? Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I got one of those. I actually have a Cash App account, which is better. I don't use PayPal anymore. I use Cash App. Because when you need the cash, you know. I got it right now. I'm gonna put it in the thing. I got it right now. I'm gonna put it in the chat, in the chitty chat. I appreciate that, by the way, Sophie. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's not enough to put someone on a main event and think that somehow means they have more marquee value than someone else. That's not how it works. That guy, Paul Brassfield, he tried to make that assertion in the last video that I did, where I was talking about their respective viewership numbers. He was trying to say that, oh, Katie Taylor doesn't be on pay-per-view. Yeah, and Katie Taylor still gets paid more money than Clarissa. So what is your point? You realize that some of Katie Taylor's opponents get paid more than Clarissa? And I'm not saying that to knock her, but this is the business, this is the industry, and this is what we're talking about. You have to grow fighters organically. You can't say that, oh, well, just because a fighter headlines their own events, that they're more financially successful, or that certain things are more financially viable. No, they're not. That's why this fighter makes more than you do several times over. It's not a foregone conclusion, but I'm pulling. Man, listen, man. I just think that's a good fight. That's one of them fights that I'm going to just watch it and enjoy it. It's actually a decent fight. I was waiting for it the first time, but it got postponed. They were supposed to fight months ago. It's a great fight. And let's see if Angelo Leo could hold on to that belt. I don't know if he can, if I'm being honest. I don't know if he can, but that's the fun part, finding out. Nothing much, man. But just back to the welterweight stuff. You see what I'm saying? Everybody likes to act like it's all on Bob Arum to make those fights realities. Everybody likes to act like it's this mystique or this convoluted situation when no, it's not. If you don't like what Bob is offering you, just push for the purse bid. Push for the purse bid and let Al put up the money. If you're really worth it, then he will. But if you're not, then he won't. It's simple. It's simple. It's not complicated. If Al Heyman don't want to take a risk on you the same way that Bob don't want to take a risk on you, then newsflash, I'm sorry to say, you're not worth it. And that's not about being insulting or anything. It's just that that's the way it breaks down. It's one thing for the other guy's promoter not to want to pay you through the nose. He's afraid that you won't be able to bring his money back. Cool. But if your own people is on that same stuff, all right, then there you go. There you go. I was talking about the Avenesian. Ooh, that's a good fight. I know, man. Oh, God, I love that. I don't know what's going to happen. That's a step-up fight. I don't know what's going to happen. Kelly could lose that fight, bro. He could lose that fight. For it, like, legitimately. He got to be on some no nonsense, no playing around. Stick to your fundamentals. Stop going out there. Stop trying to be cute, flying flashy, and box. Because Avenesian not going to play no games, man. He not going to play no games. I don't know what's going to happen in that fight, if I'm being honest. I don't know what's going to happen. That's a good fight. I was Goody Hustle. Savannah, not a big name in the UK. She needs a few more wins. I agree with you, Arian, something. I agree with you. She's not at a point yet where she's just a draw by herself. She got a good thing going. She has a good buzz, good momentum. She's very fun to watch, very skilled boxer, but she still is kind of in the beginning. She needs more time to grow so that she could be able to carry her own fights and do her own thing, and that will, in turn, make the Shields fight bigger. Right now, here today, what she has is a buzz. She got a buzz, like, ooh, great performance against Savannah Marshall. I enjoyed every minute of it. She became a world champion, but she does need a little bit more time to grow her brand. Yeah, I seen the Kayaguchi joint is on. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Not much. She's a few years older. Savannah is about, I believe, 30. Clarissa, I believe, is about 25. There's time there, though. You understand? There's time. They're like, you have a year to build the fight. At minimum, you have a year to really build the fight. And you want to build the fight because if you rush it and you do it too soon, what happens is what happened with the Hammer fight. The Hammer fight was a great performance for Clarissa, but that fight wasn't as big as it could have been. Look at the viewership numbers. It's just a little over. It's just a little over 300,000. Just no. I think it was like was it? I know it didn't do 500,000. I know that. The viewership could have been a lot better if more money and more time would have went into build the fight. Don't just have Hammer, Christina, don't just have her fight on the platform once before the big fight. Have her have a couple of fights on there. Have her talk some smacks, talk some shit. Have Clarissa talk some shit, more. And I'm not talking about a build-up that takes 2, 3, 4 years, but the American audience needed to see more of Christina Hammer to make the fight bigger. They already knew Clarissa. They knew her already. They needed more time to get to know the other fighter and acquaint themselves with that and get their opinions and have their arguments and use that synergy to build the fight, because that's how fights get built. Once people have passionate opinions about a fight, all right, now you cooking with rice. But when people are looking at it and they don't really know what to make of it, that they see, all right, well, she's kind of okay, and she's a double gold medalist. It's like a foregone conclusion to them. Appreciate that, Beats. I gotta let you in on this action, Beats. I gotta let you in on this action. Talk to my guy Beats about these fights. But just back to that Porter situation. To me, nothing changed. Like, it's easy to sit there and say, oh, Bob Arum is being cheap. Bro, the reason that dude don't be in a hurry to put up a lot of money is because he not going to put it up unless he know you can bring it back. And I can't knock him because I'm like that. Bro, I ain't going to front you. I ain't going to front you something I don't think you're going to bring me back. It's two things that's going to happen. Either I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not going to give it to you. Or, no. Well, there's two things that's going to happen. I'm only going to give it to you if you could bring it back, or I'm not going to give it to you. It's no other way about it. You got to be able to bring it back. He's not putting up bread for the sake of putting up bread, or staging fights for the sake of staging fights. You do all these things to make a profit. And if I'm looking at the guy and he telling me, oh, I want 3-5, I want 4-5 million. Bro, can you bring back 4-5 million? Because the only way you're going to get that is if you can bring it back. You got to bring that back. And it ain't even like it's just you I got to pay. I got to pay him too, and whoever's on the undercard. Has Porter's team pushed? To my knowledge, they haven't. J-Ho Park. To my knowledge, they haven't, and that's why I be wondering. That's why I say I wonder: is it posturing, or do you really want the fight? Because you're number one with the WBO. You're number one. So get in contact with Paco. Put some pressure on Paco. Like, yo, dog, I want a title shot. I'm pushing for a purse bid. He talking about he only going to give me $1 million. I can't reach a deal with that. So let's go to a purse bid. And when we go to a purse bid, okay, then your boy Al Heyman can come in with his big old wallet that we always hearing about and let him bid on the fight. If you so goddamn worth it, then let him put up the money. Josh Kelly made Reflex's defensive skills great to watch, but he lacks power and stamina. If Josh works on his cardio, what the thing about Josh is he fights on the balls of his feet, so that's why he doesn't seem like a big puncher. He doesn't really sit on his shots, like at least not when I've seen him. He do a lot of moving around the ring, circling away, upper body movement, being flying flashy, but I don't really see him sit on his punches. I see him fight on the balls of his feet, and when you on the balls of your feet, well, you're not sitting on those shots, so it ain't going to be that much on them. Exactly, LJ. Exactly, LJ. And most people aren't going to understand that because most people choose to ignore that, like, yo, dog, neither Bob Arum or Eddie Hearn or anybody is staging fights for the sake of staging fights. You do these things to turn over a profit. And if you see that there's not a profit margin there, like what, you just want me to overpay you for the sake of overpaying you? This ain't Christmas. Bro, I got a feeling he gonna fight a YouTuber, LT. If you want my opinion, he gonna fight like an influencer or a YouTuber. Because he said, oh, it's a bigger name than Gervonta Davis. And I'm like, Jorge Linares is not a bigger name than Davis. Yeah, I mean, like, if we thinking about fighters and boxers and all of that and all of that, then nah. So I'm thinking, bro, you about to fight a YouTube. You about to fight Jake Paul or somebody, bro. That's who you about to fight. Jake Paul or KSI or you just somebody like that. That's what you about to do. Or Henry Cejudo in a crossover fight. You about to do a novelty act. That's how I feel, that he about to do like some novelty act type stuff. Beats, what do you think about the situation? Is Bob Arum being cheap, or is this posturing?
Sorry about this, brother. Okay. Yo.
What do you think about it, Beats? Is it posturing, or is Bob Arum being cheap?
is Bob Arum being cheap? Not well. We can't really say nothing now. There's a pandemic going on. Isn't it? Pandemic. You know what I mean? I ain't no fan of Bob, but the dough ain't there. The dough ain't there. Like I've heard that Wilder's getting 32 million from Eddie. Other stuff, and the money isn't there. The money ain't there. It's crazy. What do you think's a fair number for Porter? I reckon 1.5 is fair.
If I'm Bob Arum, right? Honestly, to Sean Porter, and I'm not saying that 1 is low. I don't think that 1 million is low. But if I'm Bob Arum, I stake $2 million on Sean Porter. And I'm not saying that he has to, because that's you're risking it. That 2 million, you could lose it. But I put the 2 million in Sean because the difference between the Sean Porter fight and any other fight is there is a small cluster of fight fans that want to see it. There is a rivalry that we all know about between Top Rank and the PBC. And if I'm Bob, I galvanize the fight fans with that. That is the angle that I use. We are about to crucify a PBC fighter, and I use that to sell it.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm gonna ease up. I don't get a PBC fighters no outs, man. I just keep it real, man. Like to me, he earned 1.2 against Formella, right? That's it. That is what he's worth right now, right? Because you know how you know that's because that guy's not known in America. So that's like his earning potential at his best, like against a nondescript opponent. So you haven't got no belts. Why do you see the thing is, if they're not going to challenge Crawford when they've got no belts, how can they be asking for all this money? Crawford wanted these fights against Thurman and Porter when they have belts, and now they're coming back acting like they want fights with Crawford and they want all this money.
Well, the other thing is, it goes back to the conversation that we always have. You have to ask yourself a question. What kind of environment, never mind whether we think it's right or wrong, but what kind of environment do you create when you pay Sean Porter, for example, over $1 million to fight Sebastian Formella in a pandemic? What is like you? So you really gonna get his cat? You gave Ugas $500,000 in a title fight. You give Sean over $1 million to fight Formella in a non-title fight against a nondescript opponent. And what you doing? You creating a guy that is always going to price himself out. You always you gave him $1 million.
They gave Errol $3 million against Ocampo, you know. And see, if we continue down this road, right, with the PBC, like I know I probably sound like what's your beef? It's not I've got a beef. If we keep letting them do this, all they're going to do is do all these in-house fights until they've run out of opponents. It's plateaued now. I mean, who's ever going to fight? And now, when they've run out of opponents in-house, you know, they're trying to extort everybody outside.
Exactly. And that's what's going on. See, I'm not against fighters trying to get their money. I'm not against that. It's just that everything is cause and effect. So if you give a guy $1 million for a nondescript dude like Formella, that's not really cost feasible, especially during a pandemic. And you're creating an environment to where if you want to put him in there with, somebody who's a little bit more interesting, he ain't going to do it unless you give him an arm and a leg. And what makes it wrong, it's not that he wants an arm and a leg. It's that, bro, you can't bring that money back. So how you asking for it? You asking for bread that I can see. You ain't going to bring it back.
And here's the thing. Terrence has got a belt already. You need the belt.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for the belt? Terrence got the belt already. You can say that he ain't got no decent challenges over at Top Rank. You can say all that. He's got the belt. He's got the scrap. You have nothing.
And
how do you want the belt?
And that's why a lot of times in the videos that I'll do, I'll say that, like, yo, dog, it's your title shot. You don't want to look at it like it's an opportunity for you, but in reality, that's what it is. It's your opportunity. You're not going to have a rematch with Errol, I don't think, at least not this year. If you do,
at this stage here with Errol coming off the accident, Porter's too live. They're not like after that close fight he gave Errol pre-accident. They're not just going to pitch Errol in with. I don't think with Sean right now. Because listen, if after Wilder getting knocked off, if they lose Errol, that Empire takes a big hit.
Bro.
Empire is vulnerable, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah. If they lose Spence, if they look like, bro, look, Davis, and I honestly believe Javante is on borrowed time. He is. Their guy right now is Errol. That's your guy. That is your guy. All right. You lose that guy, you already lost Wilder. We know that man ain't gonna fight for a title for the next 12 months. At minimum, we know that. Like, this dude ain't getting no title shot for a whole year. So you can that shit. All right. Yeah. Errol is all y'all got. Mini Max, what you think about it? Is it posturing? Is it posturing, or is Bob Arum being cheap?
Salute to everyone, the panel, in the chat. I don't know, man. I feel like it's a little bit of a low ball, and I'm a big Crawford fan and Porter fan. I'd like to see him raise the money a little bit. I'm not sure if Sean would take it if they raise the money. That's the thing, but I do think it is a little bit of a low ball, and this is coming from a Crawford fan. I'd preferably see it be something like 1.5 to 1.75.
I mean, I guess the reason that I don't jump, because I get it. Like, we're all thinking, when we look at that number, we're thinking, Jesus Christ, $1 million for Sean Porter. But we're not, I think what's not being factored in is what Beats alluded to. It's a pandemic, bro. The money is not the same. No matter how much we want it to be, the money is not the same. The people are not all the way back yet. You want $2, $3, $4, $5 million, right? Well, you ain't gonna get that right now. So this is what's here right now. Do you want it or do you not want it? And that's why I've been saying I don't know that I believe that Keith Thurman wants that fight or Sean Porter. I think, to me, it sounds like, man, y'all talking, bro. If you want the fight, take the fight. $1 million. It's $1 million. You believe in yourself, right? So go kick some ass for $1 million. What are you afraid of?
Look, sorry about it. What's up, Mini Max? Let me just say this, yeah? Let me just say this and keep it real.
All right.
Joshua and Fury, they put all their work in before the pandemic, right? They put their work in, so they don't have to, oh, I need Wilder, I need PBC. No. They've done their work. Wilder, right? What they're talking about pitching in Wilder with Charles Martin. You should have been fighting Charles Martin in 2016. You are hustling backwards.
Beats. I swear to God, I said that like, yo, dog, the time to fight Charles Martin was after the Glasgow fight. That was when you should have fought Charles Martin. Mm-hmm. When you had that belt.
Listen, if Eddie give Charles 8, you come up with 9. Eddie say 10, you come up with 11. You get Charles Martin in the ring, bro. That's when you get him in, and you lock down them 2 belts. Imagine
what it would have been, or what it could have been for the Wilder people if they would have had half the belts on their side of the argument. They're like, yo, we got the WBC, which is the prestigious, and we got the red belt. You want what we got. It's easier to argue that 50-50 when you say, bro, I got 50% of the belts at the weight. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? It's a better argument. But what y'all do? Y'all sent Charles over there.
They were negotiating Charles Martin and Wilder before AJ and Charles Martin. They were negotiating it before. If they had locked down that fight, right, and they had 2 belts, and Eddie phoned up, well, what's it going to take for us to get in on the action? Well, at least 20 mil, Eddie, and you got to bring AJ over here.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. They didn't do that shit. When AJ got the first, see what it is, at the time, yeah, when AJ got the belt, America and Charles Martin, the PBC, they were still in the post-Klitschko state of mind. We don't really care about the heavyweight division. It doesn't mean much. HBO threw them off. They were still thinking like that. Then all of a sudden, this British dude, 1 belt, 2 belt, 80,000, this, that, 90,000, this, that. Oh, shit. Yep. It's real.
Bro, that's exactly what happened. That's it. Look. It wasn't till the Klitschko fight. I think the Klitschko fight really is what was galvanized them. Like, yo, dog, it's a lot of money over here, man. Like, look at all this money. Look at all this event and all of that. That's when they realized, oh shit, it's money in the heavyweight division, because they took the shortbread with the Martin fight. Like, oh, y'all gonna take that $7 million, and really, Beats, he couldn't have made $7 million fighting Wilder at that time. He couldn't. He wasn't gonna make that. Not at that time. if they would have made Martin versus Wilder in 2016, the both of them probably get $3 million between them.
About $3 million apiece, I reckon. About $3 million apiece. Yeah.
Exactly.
To make that fight now, how much is that going to get? Right. No belts now. How much is going to go? Wilder's going to want at least 10, 7.
Bro, I don't like Mini Max. What do you think? Put a number on it.
For how much Wilder would get if they fought, you're saying?
Right,
yeah, right now, they're trying to make Charles Martin versus Deontay Wilder. Where would you put the purses?
I'd say Wilder would get a little under 10 mil, and Martin would get something like 1.5 to 2.
That sounds realistic.
Yeah, that sounds realistic. It sounds realistic.
I mean, but this is the other thing. This is the other thing, and I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this if they do it. Is this going to be a pay-per-view?
I hope not. I hope not.
Surely, listen, if you're going to give Wilder 10 million in a pandemic, right? No crowd, right? There's no live game. You have to put it on pay-per-view to get. That's listen. See, this is what people. You know what's happening with the internet. We're looking at figures and we're looking at it look like monopoly money. This is real bread, bro. £10 million is nothing to effort. You can't play around with that money. It's got to be. Listen, you speaking about Bob. I ain't paying out for these fights. And this is the number Bob's talking about. I'm not giving 10 million into Crawford's career.
That's why I don't blame him. Like a lot of people I'm gonna say a lot of folk is not really the ones that we see jump to snap judgments and criticize and all of that. I could tell by how they talk. They're like, yo, dog, like you're not responsible for nothing. You don't know what it's like to have to balance a budget. You don't know what it's like to have to do expense reports and tabulate everything down to the last red cent. You don't understand that. But I understand that. And that's why I know, dog, I ain't giving no money away. Don't think you just gonna come over here and I'm gonna just be giving you money for the sake of giving you money. If I give you money, you need to bring it back. And I'm telling you, $4 or $5 million for Sean Porter, or even $3 million in this climate, we don't know if you could bring it back. Because remember, it's not just your purse. 3 for you, hypothetically, right? 4 for Crawford. That's 7.
Yeah.
That's 7. That's not counting what's on the undercard and the expenses for the venue and everything else. All of that has to be accounted for. And if it's not accounted for, then it's not worth making.
And here's what I'm thinking, right? Even though Bob's doing a lot of talking, but I think Bob is, you know why I think Bob's blowing a lot of smoke? Because he knows that the zone, if you let Terence Crawford go, Bob, Eddie's going to say, yo, look, let's get on it now. And you know, Eddie's going to be on it like a shark bait. And that he's gonna, and Bob knows this, right?
Bro, and it's not even, and it's not just that. Let's just say in a parallel universe, Fast Eddie takes Crawford, right? You let Crawford go, he goes to the zone. You know it ain't gonna hurt the zone to throw $3 million at Sean Porter.
No, of course not.
Ain't gonna hurt him.
Exactly. Right. They're gonna give Triple G 15 million to fight Sarah Matter or something. 3-4 million.
I think he got like 7 for that. I know this is what I know. They gave this cat, they gave him $14 million for Steve Rolls, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't forget, they gave Mikey Garcia $7 million to fight Jesse Vargas.
Thank you.
Bro, Adrian Broner did not get $7 million to fight that same Jesse Vargas. He didn't even get that. So if you get Crawford, if you get Terence Crawford on the DAZN side of things, if you are foolhardy enough to let that man go, Eddie Hearn is going to catch him with a big old butterfly net like, come over here, Crawford. We know what to do. What you want, Sean? You want $3 million? You want that in singles? You want that in 20?
I'm back to what I said. Because from what I'm hearing, right, DAZN are not broadcasting Joshua and Fury in America.
They don't have to. Remember, DAZN is available in 200 countries around the world. It's not the situation that it was before where, we're trying to make an impression on the Americans. We want to tap into the American market. They are available in 200 plus markets around the world. We can lose America to ESPN because we have all these other places. So we'll get money. This fight is going to get watched. The views for this thing, I'm anticipating monster numbers, monster shit, right? We can lose America because we still have 200 other territories where we're going to show the fight. What's America? You know what I mean? Like they don't put up numbers for their own fighters. So ESPN, you know what? You want that ESPN? You can have it.
Damn. Yep.
I'm telling you. And I anticipate, God willing, that the fight gets made and everything comes off and everybody gets to make their money. This is going to do ridiculous numbers, bro.
In America, what? You think ESPN can have this pay-per-view?
Well, this is the thing. I don't think it's going to be a pay-per-view in America. I don't, because of the timing. The timing, in all likelihood, the fight will likely take place in the Middle East in a time frame that accommodates a UK-based audience. That's what they're going to do. That means for us Americans, we're looking at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening time. That is not the ideal time to stage a pay-per-view. I just can't see them telling people, you got to see this fight at 6 p.m. for $80. I can't see it. I don't put it past them because times is tough, but it's hard. Like, bro, at 6 p.m., a lot of people probably gonna still be outside at their job and all of that. Like, I'm like, really? So I don't think it is possible, but I don't think it's gonna be a pay-per-view here in America, and that's why the Zone was probably willing to let, like, you know what, y'all want it, ESPN, y'all want it in the States? Go ahead, you can have it, because we worried about the UK and Europe. In the UK, we gonna make money, man. Like, all right, in the UK, Sky Sports will show the fight, but all the neighboring territories, all the other territories that don't have Sky Sports, we gonna get our money off of them.
Yeah.
So it's and that's, and not for nothing. See, this is what happens when the guys want to fight. You see how it all just bing. That's it. Bing.
It falls into place.
That's it, and that was it. With Wilder, no interview, post-fight recap, interview. Like, bro, and I can see what like, bro, you just want to talk about the fight. You don't want the fight. Yeah. Because if you wanted it, if you believed in your heart of hearts that you could knock this man out, they offered you $15 million guaranteed, 40% of the upside, and you didn't take it. And that was when the Tyson Fury that's when Tyson Fury had went to Top Rank. That they was like, yo, the rematch is in jeopardy because Fury just signed a Top Rank. Okay, now's your chance to fight Joshua then.
Yep.
You didn't take it. So
take it.
Out of here.
See, no one remembers that Dominic Brazil win. Nobody, and it was a great knockout, but nobody remembers it. You know?
Nobody remembers that Jim Gray grilled him right after the fight and what he was talking about. He was talking about some money shit. Like I said, it's a tough sport. It's a hard business. You make your money while you can. But I was saying then, the money is there. Make the fight. The money's there, bro. 40% of a Joshua fight would have got you way more than what you got losing to Tyson Fury, and you didn't take it. It would have got you way more. What do you get for Fury? What, $30 million? You would have made more than that fighting Joshua. 40% of the Joshua fight would have been substantially more than what you made fighting Fury.
The thing is, though, like, neither Spence or Crawford have got anything to look for. Because Spence ain't going to be fighting no Canelo, man. I don't care what no one from the PBC says. He ain't fighting Canelo, man. They can talk all that all they want.
Let me tell you something. I don't think none of them guys want the Canelo fight. And I was just thinking about this yesterday. I'm like, bro, unless you stand a legitimate chance of knocking Canelo Alvarez out, in all likelihood, he's going to beat you on the cards. If he don't beat you nowhere else, he'll beat you on the cards. It's a no-win situation. I don't think Jermall wants it. I don't think Spence wants it. And I'm beginning to question I'm not even beginning to question. I don't think Caleb wants to fight. You turned it down 2 times.
What about David Benavidez?
I don't know. David says one thing, Samson Lukowicz says another. For example, 2019, when he still had the belt, and he was going back and forth with Caleb on social media like, yo, I beat the shit out of you. But when they came up to Samson about the fight and asked him, yo, why you ain't, when we going to get that fight? He was like, nah, man, that got to be on pay-per-view. That got to wait. You want 2 world champions? You got to wait, and you got to pay. That did a video on it. So I'm like, oh, I see what it is. So maybe David wants to fight.
Yeah.
But Wilson doesn't. He want to wait.
See, and I think what I'm saying, you see in America, right? I was listening to Leon Muhammad, and what it is, man, a lot of the uploaders, like, read that fucking Muhammad Ali act, right? For the fighters. If David really wants to fight, forget what Samson, whatever name you just said, forget what he says. If you really want to fight and Canelo wanted it, you can get an independent promoter outside of them two, and they'd have to make the fight. You cannot stop the fighters pursuing their goals under the Muhammad Ali Act. But no one's really, like the fighters, they certainly ain't really. You know what I mean? I'm going to go for it. You know, I keep meaning to go for it. As soon as I get some time, I'm going to go through that Muhammad Ali Act, man, and pick out.
I mean, a part of me feels that, like, look, a part of me feels like David maybe wanted. I don't know what he wants now, because at the end of the day, look at the situation. It's all self-imposed. Ain't nobody gonna play you a violin over here. You was treating your nose. You lost the belt. Cool. You get it back. You do the rehabilitation thing. What happens? You blow the weight. You lose the belt again. So if they cut you out of that picture, I don't feel sorry for you. You did that to yourself.
Yeah,
you know that.
Yeah.
All of that. Like, ain't nobody do nothing to you. I seen channels talking about Canelo stole his belt. I'm like, how, bro? He blew the weight. How?
I can't stand when people say crap like that. The Canelo stole his belt. No, you threw your belt away. Like Tyson threw his belts away and Joshua picked them up. These people are crazy.
That Twitter shit with it's to me, it's out of control. I was talking to a dude. The dude tried to count Otto Verlin and Tom Schwartz's title defenses. It was at that point I stopped talking. Like, all right, bro. All right.
Yeah. All right. They're getting out of hand now, man.
Because we're just gonna say any old bullshit. If we just go say any old bullshit, like, well, really, those were title defenses?
Exactly. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It's gonzo to me. That's why I'm like, look, I'm just glad that we're on the eve of the fight being made, so that we can just settle it, bro. Just screw it, settle it.
Yes, get it in the ring. You know what I mean? Everyone knows I want Joshua to win. If he can't win, he's not good enough. Same thing I said with Randy Ruiz's first fight. Simple as that. But let's get it in the ring.
Yeah,
let's get it in the ring, man.
It's at least one thing I'll say that I give to the Fury fans that I don't give to the Spence fans is at least they want to see the fight. The Spence fans don't want to see that Crawford fight. They really don't want it to happen.
And the Wilder fans didn't want to see the AJ fight. The worst thing was for them was to see AJ knock Wilder out. That was terrifying. That was terrifying.
Mini Max, what you think about it?
I was just saying, I've seen Spence fans on Twitter say Crawford has to get past Mikey Garcia and Sean Porter before he gets a chance at Crawford. I mean, this is the type of stuff that boxing fans have to deal with. What sport has to go through this garbage like us?
Exactly. Like, the funniest thing is, right? Look, they tell Crawford that his numbers aren't good enough to get a Spence fight, right? Well, are Charlo's numbers good enough to get a Canelo fight?
No, Crawford, much better numbers Crawford gets.
You know, this is what I mean. Like, I can take that argument that they use to keep Crawford away from Spence and apply it to every single PBC fighter. Because, okay, you saying that Crawford don't sell enough to get a Spence fight. Well, Charlo don't sell enough to get a Canelo fight.
What I don't understand is how Porter and Mikey Garcia can get the same purse as Errol Spence is supposed to be the A side, but Terence Crawford is supposed to take 70-30 and 60-40.
And bear in mind that he is guaranteed more money, which is a sticking point for me. He is guaranteed more money up front than you guys were in your pay-per-view. Exactly. So you're not the ace, like not for real ace side. I mean, you ain't Oscar and Floyd. Let's do it like that. It ain't one of those. It's not, because he's guaranteed 4. When you unified with Sean, you was only guaranteed 2, and he was only guaranteed 2.
That's right.
This guy's guaranteed 4.
That's right.
Crazy. And
go ahead,
you know what? Another thing I hate is how some Spence fans say Crawford hasn't done anything at 147 to earn a Spence shot. But what did Mikey do at 147 to earn a Spence shot?
Exactly. I always go back to that. They're like, don't tell me that Crawford has to prove himself through the Indiana Jones gauntlet, the obstacle course. when y'all ain't put Mikey Garcia through that gauntlet. Y'all ain't do that, but he gotta do. Nah, y'all scared. That's how scared people act. That's how scared people talk. You scared. It's Terrence Crawford is the truth. God damn it.
You know what I'm scared of? Across the pond is that 135 ends up like 147.
We already there, Beats. Well, and I was gonna move on from welter to the next glamour weight, 135. Where, bro, look, I like Teofimo. I respect him. Devin, all these kids is great kids, but they ain't about to fight. That's the truth. They ain't about to fight. Ryan ain't about to fight Devin. Devin ain't about to fight Lopez. Lopez ain't about to give Loma a rematch. Loma, who know what the hell he going? I don't know what the hell he going to do. You better fight Richard Comey.
Yeah, Devin was trying to style with Lomachenko. Oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to give him a shot. I'm like, oh, Devin.
As if he can afford to like, bro. You need names, bro. What you got is Santiago. Like you're not in a position to be like, well, nah, I don't need. Like, yes, you do need to fight him, bro. You do.
Like somebody said to me, I mean, like, yeah, see, you was trying to back Devin Beats. What you got to say now? I couldn't even say nothing. I just had to keep my mouth shut. I had to keep my mouth shut. I mean, what can I say?
Nah, I can't either. I can't, and you know, Beats, that I'm not all the way Lopez. I'm not all the way Devin. I'm just like, I'm for the fights. But it's reaching a point where, look, the shit y'all doing, I can't even defend it, bro. Devin, you need names, bro. They all have names. Even Ryan has a name.
Is Ryan going to fight Jake Paul?
Probably.
Most likely. That's my prediction.
You think so, Mini Max?
Yeah, because the only two guys that are bigger than Tank that are realistic, they're saying is Manny Pacquiao, which I doubt will happen. I mean, he got dropped by Luke Campbell and Jake, a YouTuber. And I see them making that Jake Paul fight. I don't know why. I just have a bad feeling that happens. They were also hinting at it prior to the Luke Campbell fight. They created like a little Instagram beef between the two, and I could definitely see them making it.
Now I'm gonna warn you guys. Jake Paul is a Capricorn. That's right. Like Josh Taylor, like Alexander Usyk, like Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Floyd Patterson, Customato, Felix Trinidad, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr. He's a Capricorn. Look for the knockout.
Jake Paul's gonna overpower Ryan.
You guys are lucky. Ryan struggles in that fight. Like, gotta be very careful because Jake's taking it very serious. Jake takes boxing very serious.
I'm gonna say this much. Now I'm gonna stop dicking around, right? The best thing that could happen for Ryan Garcia's career, get Jake in the ring and knock him out, because that's what everybody wants to see. Everybody wants to see him on the floor. Everybody. That would catapult Ryan to a stratosphere not otherwise seen by a boxer in this era. Because Jake's fans are not boxing fans. These are just stupid kids and boogers in the earwax in their nose. And we ain't worried about boxing. If you knock this man out, you absorb his power like Highlander.
Yeah,
like, I knocked your boy out, yo. I knocked your boy out. Yeah. You my fans now. You see, you my fans now.
I ain't gonna try and say, oh, that's terrible for boxing, because I understand the move. It's just like, because today is just like clout. It's all about the, like, before matchmaking, it's about the clout. And if all of them are going to be on social media trying these gimmicks on these different websites or whatever outlets, then he's got the biggest gimmick going. Fighting one of them kids there.
I could see a scenario where, if it ends up being Jake Paul, and just like Mini Max, I agree, it's something that could very well happen. And if it does, right, you talking about Ryan Garcia potentially debuting on pay-per-view, right, on Triller, because Jake just signed a deal with Triller. So wherever his next fight is going to be, whoever it's against, it's going to be on Triller, the same platform as Tyson versus Jones Jr. That's done, right? You hypothesize if Ryan is the next guy, that means Ryan is going to be on pay-per-view if it happened that way. You then go further. Does Ryan Garcia versus Jake Paul do better numbers than Davis versus Santa Cruz? You know the answer.
Well,
I think it would.
Here's the
Yeah.
question we got to ask: like, if Jake Paul was offering that fight to Tank, would Tank take it? Yes, hell yeah, Mayweather would take it. They'd be only like fucking flies on dude.
Listen, bro, I don't even know if they would let Tank fight. I don't even know if they would let Tank fight Jake. And I'm not taking the piss. I'm being serious. Jake Paul, high risk, low reward guy, man. Good jab.
Jake Paul could very well overpower Tank with his size and strength, rip to the body, start to beat him up, make him quit in the corner.
Jay Leon loves doing a sensational job with him. He's training with Cansares over there in Southwest and cross border in Mexico. Cansares, that's the guy who's clout chasing Canelo because of an amateur win that he got many years ago that I didn't even realize. Point being, Jake Paul, he's a young, hungry lion. He can't look past him.
Nope.
But all jokes aside, and this part is not a joke. This part is not a joke. If Ryan debuts on Triller, hypothetically, with Jake Paul, that does way better business than Spence versus Garcia. That does way better business than Davis versus Santa Cruz. Way better business than the Charlo doubleheader. And in that moment, Ryan Garcia will have crossed over. You know, if he knocks out Jake. And that's possible.
Yeah.
That is possible.
Yeah. So what would that do to a Teofimo Lopez fight? Would Ryan be the A side over Teo?
That would create an environment where Teofimo would be relegated to the background in spite of being a very accomplished fighter. But that would create an environment where Teofimo and every other fighter would be put in the background the way that Andre Ward was during the Floyd Mayweather Jr. era. Ward was a great fighter, but you are fighting in an era where the attention is being monopolized principally by two fighters, Floyd and Manny. So you let Ryan cross over like that, everything's going to be about Ryan at lightweight. It's going to be about Ryan. You guys is just guys. It's going to be about Ryan.
Yeah, but the media and the boxing fans are going to tear like Oscar apart. Like, where the A side over Teo? You beat Lomachenko Kobe, and now you're the A side because you beat some YouTuber. That's going to cause wars.
Bro, I think that it's reached the point. Enough has been allowed in boxing to where, like, look, I got nothing against Devin. I got nothing against Lopez. But the situation between them, right? It shouldn't be happening. But it's allowed. It's allowed. They should be fighting. Look, the way that Joe ended up fighting young Daniel Dubois is the way that they should end up fighting. Hell, you guys are further along in your careers than they were in theirs. That wasn't a world title fight. They ain't world champions. Joe and Daniel, right? They wasn't. You guys have belts and you're not about to fight.
That's right.
It's wild. Like when Joshua fought Dillian, that wasn't a title fight like a world title fight. They fought. Whereas these young guys are being allowed to stay away from each other.
When you look at that, right? Daniel and Dillian, they were fighting in British fights, in dangerous fights. Like Joe Joyce's fight was dangerous. Even you acknowledged it was dangerous for Daniel. You acknowledged dangerous fights. And like Daniel's career is in the balance. Like Dylan's punch resistance hasn't been the same since. These are dangerous fights. You know what I mean? And like
these kids are being allowed. They're being allowed to stay away from each other without the full backlash because the boxing community in this country, remember, those are American fighters. Teofimo, Devin, Ryan, Javon, all of them are American fighters. The boxing scene here has deteriorated to the point where people don't even get mad anymore. Like, y'all just doing y'all same old boxing shit. Y'all doing y'all same old boxing shit. Yeah. The demand is not, it's like people don't get galvanized anymore because it's like, y'all stay doing this shit. You did this shit with Davis and Farmer, Davis and Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're used to not getting fights anymore. So we don't get mad.
I mean, I'm in your comment section and is it Esparacia? He's saying that Ryan is the A side already. I'm like, that's scary. That's scary, man.
That's not as crazy, bro. That's not as crazy a proposition as it seems. I know it sounds a certain way because we know that one fighter is a lot more proven, but the attention that Ryan has is not limited to the boxing fan. There's kids watching this goddamn guy.
Yeah, but if we keep going down this road, man, what happens to boxing? So if I can like get a whole lot of Twitter followers and get my numbers up and fight a YouTuber, that means like I'm A-side over the guy who's put the work in.
It's more, Beats, you know how it is. It's about putting asses in the seats. And the fact of the matter is, it's not this way in the UK boxing scene, because the UK boxing scene, honestly, not kissing ass, it respects itself a little more than this. We encourage frivolities here that open the door for this kind of crap. They're singing Gervonta Davis's praises for knocking out Leo Santa Cruz as if that's some kind of big deal. Exactly. Before that, they were celebrating Errol outboxing a goddamn lightweight.
Yeah.
If you entertain that kind of mediocrity, that opens the door for more mediocrity.
Ryan beating Luke Campbell, it was over celebrated a little by a lot of his fans and Golden Boy. They over celebrated a little too. Like sometimes he's got a belt, and I've got to keep reminding. No, he didn't win a belt. It was an eliminator, which he's not going to fight. He's not going to fight for the title. He won the eliminator. You're not going to fight for the title.
Exactly. And I feel bad for Devin, because as far as I'm concerned, he is a legitimate world champion, no more and no less than anyone else, because this situation was not of his invention. This is a byproduct of a sanctioning body running wild without regulation. That's what caused that to happen. And he is getting the short end of the stick because nobody looks at him as a champion, but he paying sanctioning fees for a belt.
Yep.
I mean, if Devin ends up fighting someone like a Javier Fortuna, I mean, he'll definitely gain some respect because Fortuna is a very liable opponent. He beats Fortuna as we expect him to do. We'll start to really treat him like a champion. So if he can't get that Ryan fight, he needs to start pushing for that fight soon.
Well, that's what the rumor is too, Mini Max, that the Fortuna fight is looking like that's going to be the next fight. And just like you, I agree. Fortuna is a live animal. He's a solid top 10 lightweight contender. That would legitimize Devin more than God, who did he fight? Abdullah?
Santiago, Gamboa. I mean, Moran.
I mean, like, I feel like a lot of the fighters in this part of the world, they don't want to do certain things. Like, if you're Devin, right, they don't respect you. You want their respect, right? You want that. Hey, man, I want Richard Comey. I knock his ass out faster than Teofimo. Get him in the ring, all right? Vasyl Lomachenko, you better fight me. You know what I'm saying? Fight me. You ain't got a belt no more. What's your excuse now, Loma? Your shoulder hurt? Like, nasty stuff, mean stuff, fucked up stuff. Like, yo, Teofimo took your belts. Come fight me, Loma. You didn't want to fight me before. You had to unify. You ain't got shit to unify now. Fight me. Well, what are we seeing? What are we seeing? That's not what we see.
We're seeing the opposite. I've been seeing Devin Haney. I've been seeing boxing scene said Devin Haney says he didn't want to give me a shot before. Why should I give him a shot now? I mean, how could you be a boogeyman while saying something like that? How?
I agree. I saw that, and I'm like, this is not, look, ultimately, what happens is out of our hands. All we can do is react to what we see. So when I saw that, I'm like, that's not helping your situation, bro. You need a name like Vasyl Lomachenko.
Yeah.
You're not in a position where you could turn down that kind of a fight. Not that it's being offered to you, because I don't think it is. But better still, this is a guy who you should be like, man, Loma was making all them excuses not to fight me before. You gonna fight me now? You want to fight me now? That should be the demeanor, the attitude. They're like, yeah, I want that fight because I want to knock his ass out.
What I don't like about with a lot of them boxers is they've got this thing like, oh, I don't want to be embarrassed, like I'm begging for a fight. You should be begging. You should be hungry. You should be saying, look, it's really like Kid Galahad came out today. I'm gutted. I don't get a chance to get my rematch. If that was one of them guys, I don't need him. I've got all this going on. I'm going to fight a YouTuber. Or they'd be saying stupid crap like that. Like, Kid Galahad came out real. I'm gutted. I'm not getting the fight. And he should be fighting.
I think that the Brits and just a lot of other fighters, because I feel like the American fighters are spoiled a little bit in a manner of speaking. Maybe they're focused on the wrong thing. I don't know. But they're not saying the kind of stuff that a Larry Holmes would have said, or that a James Toney or a Roy Jones Jr. would have said. Like, you remember what Jones said? Yeah, if you got a belt, you ain't got to find me. I'll find you. I'll come to you. That's where it was at. Now,
Yeah.
I have a belt. I'm gonna fight you. I got a belt. I'm gonna fight you.
Crazy. I mean, like that, like all the excitement about this is the new Super 4, the fantasy, it's already dead already.
Yeah, it's already like I was talking about it on, I believe it was on Twitter last week. I think it was last week. They're like, yo, dog, that's a glamour weight, man. And they're acting glamorous.
Yep.
It's a glamour.
I'm gonna call them the glamorous 4. That's what I'm gonna call them the glamorous 4. You know what I mean?
Ioka, the hero of Japan. Makes me proud to be Japanese.
Yeah.
Saying a lot because I'm not Japanese.
Fighter, man. Good fighter.
Amazing fighter, dog.
Yeah.
The way he beat the shit out of Kosei, I couldn't believe it.
That was a beautiful performance.
He beat the shit out of Kosei, bro.
I really like Ioka's patience and calmness and his demeanor in the ring against Kosei. He wasn't getting overwhelmed by Kosei's hand speed or the flashiness. He kept his calm and really made a statement. I thought it'd be like a close decision. I didn't expect him to get such a one-sided victory.
He was surgical with those. I think it was counter left hooks that he kept nailing him with. He just kept catching him with them. Just like, Jesus Christ, he's destroying my guy. That's a great fight, though. Great fight, man. Kazuto, underrated guy. And I'm supposed to argue, right, about why Kazuto deserves to be on the pound for pound more. It's like, yo, dog, y'all don't watch boxing, so stop talking about pound for pound list. You watch Fox when boxing is on. You don't watch boxing. It's a difference. You watch Fox, and when the boxing come on, then you watch it. You're not watching none of these other weights, so why are you talking about it?
Yeah. I mean, how many belts as Tanaka got now?
What happened?
How many belts has Tanaka got now?
No, well, he was defending his WBO title with Superfly, but he's been unified before. He beat I want to say he beat 2 to 3 guys for world titles in about 4 divisions because he's a 4-division champion. Most people don't know that.
They don't know this. I didn't even know that. I did know it, but I probably forgot it.
Yeah, like go ahead, Minnie.
Oh, sorry for cutting you off, but he also wants to fight a Nui for his 5th title. I mean, that's incredible, man. Incredible.
Listen, when people are making a pound for pound list and they're putting in lower weight fights, and all you do is watch Charlo thing, you should keep your mouth shut. And wow, you shouldn't even talk because you don't even know. See, I'm educating myself, and I don't know.
If he fights Inui, dog, my head will explode, bro.
Yeah.
It will like, bro, like, you serious? You gonna fight this dude? You just the baddest motherfucker ever then. Win or lose. He don't need that fight. You don't need that fight, bro. Like, you really gonna go up again and fight this dude? Like, chill, bro.
Yeah, but see, that's their mentality though. It's like, you know, it's putting on a show. You know what I mean? Like they will put their physical well-being, I mean, before any business decisions, them boxers.
But he's already part of a great scene. We already see the Chocolatito versus Estrada rematch. It's been made. We know what's on the undercard. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Cecilia. I look forward to their rematch. But you're already part of a good scene at Superfly. If by some chance you say, man, fuck them. Fuck being Superfly. I want to be super duper fly. Let's go,
Right.
Yo, dog, I'll faint, B. I might faint. Like, really? They gonna fight?
Listen, man, them low weight dudes is crazy. Like, what weight was Roman fighting at when he fought Rungvisai? Was that his 4th weight class?
Yeah, that was his 4th.
And like, I was looking at the fight, man. I was saying, look at the size of the dude's calves. Like, you're fighting an animal. And I said that after the first fight, I said, you cannot take that rematch. I told everybody. I was telling Naoto, he can't take. The guy's gonna kill him, and he knocked him out. But it's crazy.
But why Roman got a special place in my heart, right? Why? Because he didn't lose like that until his 4th weight class. It was 4th. It's a bad motherfucker in the first 3. In the 4th, it's a little harder, but he still get out there. And why I love him today, because he bounced back from that. Like that's one dude that beat me. It's 2 fights, but that's one dude that beat me. You other motherfuckers can't beat me. And he out here about to fight Estrada again. Chocolatito, goddammit.
If Chocolatito beats Estrada in the rematch, was a huge if. I mean, this guy is a freaking, I don't even know, man. He's an all-time great, man. I mean, if he beats Estrada in the rematch, that's such an amazing comeback. Such an amazing comeback.
There's a fairy tale on either side of Superfly. If Choco wins, right? All-time great, all of that. But Ioka's there, Cajas is there, right? If Estrada wins, same shit. Ioka's there, Cajas is there. If Ioka come through from Japan like Godzilla through the ocean, he's swimming, he laying on the shores, he laying bang, I'm gonna fuck the both of y'all up. Let's go, Estrada. If Estrada wins, I want Estrada. If Choco wins, I want Choco. Let's do this hot shit, bruh. Kazuto is not old. You see what I mean? He not like an old cat that like, yo, he on borrowed tonight. He got time. He got time for y'all. And if he beats y'all, it's wild to me. That to me, I'm staying away from the glamour weights outside of the heavyweight division. And that's only because Joshua versus Fury is about to be made. But look at all the other glamour weights. What's happening at middleweight? What's happening at weight? What's happening at lightweight? And these are the glamour weights.
Well, I think what are the reliable, like lightweight is gone. Hopefully they're going to light welter. We should get a result there with the unification. I think the cruiserweights will unify if the WBSS go back. They will unify again. I mean, I have no
154.
doubt.
154. If Castano beats Teixeira, they could easily make undisputed with him and Charlo.
That's true. That's true. I like the weight divisions that have been entertaining me as of late. It is 140. It is cruiserweight. It is 154 to a degree because, hey, I bought Charlo doubleheader for Rosario versus Jamel. That's why I'm like, ooh, unification match? Let's get that shit. Bought that shit. The glamour weights are the weights that are letting me down. Middleweight hasn't been hot in a long time, dog.
Like, I was trying to explain something. Why am I so pissed with Caleb Plant? Because I saw the fight with Uskatagi. And I was really impressed with his performance. It was a good fight. They put it in Britain for free and stuff. And I thought Caleb was going to go on to do some, to challenge and make a name. And like I mean, Fagan Woods and Mike Lee. Correct. It's a letdown.
Listen, they petitioned. They talking that mandatory shit, right? With Truax. Bro, y'all asked for him to be the mandatory. They didn't order that fucking fight. They didn't order that fight.
Oh, man.
Y'all petitioned. Y'all did what Triple G did with Zeremata. That, yeah, he was going to be your mandatory, so he does qualify. But you asked for that. They didn't tell you had to fight him. You asked for that because you knew better than you would.
Thinking about mandatories, but mandatories can be fixed. They can manipulate it. So you're not necessarily taking on a stiff opponent just because it's a mandatory.
And now it's like, on one end, I agree with Caleb. On one end, I do agree that David put himself in a bad position. I agree, he did. Yeah. But at the same time, I really would rather be seeing you fight David than fight Caleb. How long has it been since Caleb had a fight, bro?
He fought a scrub sometime in 2019. He won like a majority decision against. You heard about that on BoxRec? I mean, the dude was disgraceful, and he squeaked out a decision because of a couple point deductions. I mean, he is more washed than dishes. I mean, Truax is not the same guy. He's a shell of himself, and he'll be a punching bag for Plant.
And look at Caleb's last three. Caleb Plant. Look at his last 3 fights. Mike Lee, Vincent Fagan Boots, Caleb Truax, and I'm supposed to lose my mind that Canelo is fighting a mandatory. He fought 3 champions back to back. Danny Jacobs for the IBF, Sergey Kovalev for the WBO, Callum Smith for the WBA and the Ring magazine. And y'all cool. Y'all want me to get mad at him. While Caleb Plant is like, yo, dog, like, why are you fighting these people? You like, come on, man. At least fight Anthony Burrell. Jesus.
Canelo is like, all right, let me get this guy out of the way, and then he'll probably go for another belt. So it's not like he's just fighting constant Yildiz. You know, see, they can, like I say, they can say what they want about Canelo Smith. Canelo Smith went in that tournament and won it, right?
Yep.
The fact that the PBC didn't put their 168 pounds in it is their problem.
Exactly.
Right?
I agree with that 100% because I'm tired of this smoke and mirrors. I don't know that Caleb Plant is better than those guys. I don't know. He hasn't shown me, bro. I'm not gonna act like I'm not.
John Ryder.
I'm
better than John Ryder.
Exactly. Like I don't know that if you put Caleb in there with John Ryder, that John won't make him look bad. I don't know that. So I'm not gonna call Caleb Plant the best fucking thing since sliced bread because who have you been fighting for me to call you that?
Exactly.
Who?
Exactly.
We don't even know if Caleb's better than Leonel Thompson. I mean, Leonel Thompson did just as good against Uskatagi.
That's exactly. So they say, oh, Callum Smith got a gift against John Ryder. I don't know that John Ryder wouldn't have did the same thing to Caleb Plant. Maybe he would have did the same thing. You are a much smaller guy than Callum Smith, you know. You are.
That's
right? And I ain't see you fight no punches. Not no for real punches. I don't know how you gonna hold up if you get hit with a clean shot.
I haven't seen Caleb go to the body like Canelo. I ain't seen him fight like that, so I don't know. I ain't seen them kind of skills.
And when I said this to a guy on Twitter, and what does he hit me with? Just take a wild guess. Just take a guess. Eye test. Like, yo, dog, if you don't shut the fuck up with your fucking eye test, you ain't Eddie Futch. You ain't Eddie Futch. You're not Tomato. I don't care about your anecdotes. I know that these are the people that he fought, and none of them are world beaters. That's what I know. I don't care about your eye test. My eyes tell me. I don't know if you have glaucoma, cataracts. I don't know.
Exactly. Eye test only really works for prospects, unproven prospects. Caleb Plant's a champion. We shouldn't have to use an eye test to see how good he is by now. And I like Caleb, but he needs to step up the opposition. I would have been cool for Anthony Durrell fight, you know?
That is a quote. That eye tests are for prospects. This is a champion. I shouldn't have to eye test you, bro. It should be on paper. Uskateki was a great win. Admittedly, I think that he looked great against Uskateki. That was 3 fights ago.
Yep.
We couldn't have made the David Benavidez fight in that time. We could no.
Exactly.
It's wild to me, and it's on camera. Samson Lukowicz, who is David Benavidez's promoter, said, "Nah, we gotta hold out on that. We gotta put that on pay-per-view." I'm like, oh God, are you serious, bro? Pay-per-view? I don't know. It's disappointing shit, man. Disappointing shit. Well, look, gentlemen, I'm old. I'm gonna go take a nap.
All right, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Man, like, just quickly, Josh Taylor vacating that belt. That's some bull crap.
Warrington. Right?
Look,
Just Warrington.
I will sit here. I can't because I feel the sleep coming over me a little bit.
We're gonna tackle this on another.
And we might have to tackle that one tomorrow afternoon. We definitely, because we got to talk about that. Like, I did a video on it already, but I'm just, oh my God, because I know what's going on, bro. I know. Look, the WBA is doing favors for the PBC. That's why they let Leo hold on to the featherweight title for damn near 2 years, even though he ain't fought there in damn near 2 years. Right. The whole reason all of this happened is because the Kansu fight was supposed to be a unification match. What's the problem? It can't be a unification match if Leo Santa Cruz is still the super champion. But why is he the super champion? He hasn't been at featherweight in 23 months.
That's crazy, man. But I would have liked to see Warrington try to, avenge his Kid Galahad performances instead of fighting Mauricio Lara, because if he beats Kid Galahad convincingly this time, or at least in impressive or entertaining fashion, they could really hype up a Kanzu fight better.
I guess, but the monkey wrench in the plans was they probably anticipated that, Kid Galahad's the mandatory, but we'll be able to sidestep him because of this unification match. Then afterwards, we can settle up with Kid, but we'll have 2 titles by then. Hopefully. It looked like that was the plan.
When do you talk about Josh? Okay, Warrington vacates. I'm going to watch that vid now.
Yeah. Watch that video and you'll see what I'm talking about. Gentlemen, always a pleasure.
Yep.
I gotta get some sleep.
All right.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, Mini Max, I'm stuck to your channel.